I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it's a gross one. I just want to get a good like showcase before I break down the build. I think a lot of people, especially now, are struggling with Sork. Like a lot of people are talking about, I've seen people in the side chat talking about like remaking Sork and stuff because Frost is nerfed or meta's nerfed, and it's like, nope, Sork is crazy. Good thing I've been playing this the whole time and trying to build into this the whole time, because I do think a lot of people are in a bad spot with that nerf in terms of like how expensive it is to just respecking alone is insanely expensive, right? Let alone having to re-gear too. I mean, I guess you probably don't have to get like full on new gear, but you definitely have to get at least a couple new pieces, right? More than likely. Because like if you're doing cold damage and you had cold damage gear, those would have to be replaced, essentially. But other than that, like you should be able to salvage the rest, right? But that's where, like I said, I'm kind of lucky that I've been staying true to my build this entire time, right? And just trying to perfect it. I mean, I knew it was strong. It felt strong right off the rip, and it feels good visually. It's good, everything about it. And like I said, we're so much stronger now. Like look at this. Like I'm so tanky. I could just walk through this stuff without even having to use like Tempest. Tempest is, when I pop Tempest is like everything just gets deleted, right? And on top of that, I've almost never used my curse. Curses, I try to throw out curses on rares, but honestly, in tier 5 maps, it feels like I don't even know that I'd need it. I think what I'm gonna do once I get another greater jeweler orb, there's a I can't remember the name of it, but there's a support gem that basically makes the curse pop faster, so there's not a delay with it, and then I think it'll be a little bit more valuable or easier to use. Because the funny thing, like right now, like if most mob pulls, if I throw out a curse, by the time the curse actually pops, the mobs are already dead anyway, you know? So it's like there's just, until I get further into the content, you know, there's not really much point to do. All I do right now is I'll start attacking, throw out an orb like that, and that's it, and everything dies. And then maybe if I have time, you know, I'll throw in a Tempest real quick and keep going just to give a little bit, just that little bit quicker, you know, clear speed. But here's the rare, and it's just nothing. That was a really fast map. So this is a good, this is perfect. We'll break this down real quick. In terms of what we got going on. So so yeah, so the build is honestly easier than when the last video I made, right, was kind of like more of like, it was people were asking what I'm doing in the build and whatever, so it was kind of more of a generalized, you know, keep in mind I'm new to PoE per se. Granted, I've played games in this genre for years and years, right? And this game reminds me a lot of Diablo 2, which I'm a big fan of, which is really cool. I'm loving the game. I know a lot of the opinions on the game right now seem to be kind of split, but I'm loving it. I love the vibe of it. You know, for an early access game, it's actually insane how well the game plays for early access. Like it surprises me, because I feel like we're so used to early access games being a complete disaster, and thankfully this one does not feel that way, at least for me. But yeah, aside from that, what we got going on now, like I said, I knew we were gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger, and guess what, we're only gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger. But it's already looking just absolutely amazing. I mean, the level difference, right? I'm technically 20 levels higher than last time. I believe I was level 55 in the last like breakdown Just got to end game. Now we've been in end game for a little bit, or we were almost end game at that point, I think, or something like that. We were in Act 3, I believe, right? Either way, we're in end game comfortably and just absolutely breezing through it. Easier. I feel like, I wouldn't say this is like a cheat code, but kinda like it feels like I shouldn't say that because it's not like it should be nerfed, but it feels like, honestly, the more I level, the easier the game becomes for me. Probably because I'm getting more used to the mechanics of the game, right? That plays into it. But also, like I said, I keep tuning and building, and that's what I like to do in these types of games is just keep tuning and perfecting and making it stronger, right? So that being said, like I said, I am new to the game, but my process is the same, whether it's this or Diablo or whatever. And I'm very happy with beyond happy with where it's at right now. I can't imagine another 20 levels when we're level 95, 100 from now. I can't even imagine how strong we're gonna be. But you can see, if you look at my life and look at my shield. I'm almost 7,000 shield right now, right? If you put that together, I mean, I'm 7,500 total defense right now with life and shield. And then my mana is, you know, almost 1,650, which is incredible. It feels so good. And I'm also, well, I guess I'm not resist cap in here anymore. I was. So I just learned something. I'm pretty sure in my hideout I'm res capped, but in a tier 5 map, I guess I'm not. So that's good to know. So I know I need to get more now in seeing that. But so again, I was res cap. I guess I'm not anymore. Something, again, to improve on, I guess. But yeah, we're pretty close to cap now. Yeah, that's interesting. But anyways, so the build itself, the main focus is still the same. Like I keep getting sidetracked, but I just want to talk about like thoughts, where it's at, where it's going, whatever. And yeah, just again, express my opinions. But when it comes to the actual build itself, again, it's easier than it was, because if you look down here, you know, I basically have Mana Tempest on every hotkey. And that's because realistically, all I'm doing most of the time is I will push up towards mobs, and even before the mobs get onto me, I kind of want to get my sparks going before anything can like jump me, because a lot of times if you're gonna die, it's like if they get the jump on you, right? So when I come up to a choke point, you know, I'll start casting and walking, and then once I see mobs, I'll throw out an orb, right? And the reason I throw out the orb, there's multiple reasons, and I'll show you. The orb isn't necessary. I mean, it does do a little bit of damage, but it's more so about what it's buffing me with Fonts of Mana, which gives me more mana regen, but it's also stripping and adding lightning exposure, right? So I have lightning exposure and strip away. They work together. At the moment, I just got a greater jeweler orb and I put it on it. I'm not sure. I might end up changing the shock to something else. I just threw that in for now because I literally, right before making this, I just got a greater jeweler orb and I already had one for Spark. So I just threw something in there for now. But yeah, so like I said, the point of it is more to debuff and buff, right? My orb it's a buff and a debuff at the same time. And that's kind of my focus of it, the point of it. Yes, it does do a little bit of damage, but it's doing so much more. So that being said, that's another reason why, like I said, when it comes to conductivity, I just don't have time to use it as is. I'm just too strong for tier 5 maps for it to be valuable. That being said, once I get to like tier 10, you know, up towards tier 15, I believe is max, right? That's when this will start to add in and be a big factor in you know, showing its value, I should say. But as of right now, it's just so easy that I barely throw that up. And if I do, it's more so I'm trying to rather than I need to, you know what I mean? And same thing, Mana Tempest, a lot of times I'll just press it and everything dies and I just keep moving. I don't even stop. But I just try to throw it in here and there just to get a little bit more, you know, a little bit more speed. I don't know. It's just, I kill things so fast right now and I'm so tanky that it's just, it feels amazing all around. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I do for now. Again, just throw in sparks as I come up to stuff, throw out an orb. And if I need to, throw up Mana Tempest, especially if there's like a rare pack or blues, you just pop that Mana Tempest and everything is just dead immediately. Boss fights, it's essentially the same thing. You kind of get started. That, with boss fights, I definitely throw up conductivity, obviously get the orb out and go ham and just keep repeating that until they die. And bosses, at least everyone I've fought so far, even in the these maps, I mean, they die so fast. I'm just super impressed, super happy with the build. I honestly, the only from before and now, I kind of liked all the visuals and like using all the elements, because before I was using flame wall, right, to enhance my projectiles through my sparks, and visually it was cool. And then I also had comet with the meta gem, so like I felt like a true master of the elements, right? And that's why I called it like the perfect storm, because it had a little bit of everything. Now with the nerf to meta gems, I scrapped that, and I'm just full-blown lightning, essentially lightning only. And again, it's not the worst thing. I mean, I'm way stronger than what I was, and in doing that and getting rid of the meta gems, you can see I actually, if you watch the last video, I had on a scepter to get a ton of spirit, because I had a couple casts on things and just I was going heavy into that. So I actually found this focus, I think yesterday, and I was like, okay, yep, time to swap, and it was worth it. I mean, it's huge. I did lose Archmage or whatever, I can't remember the name of it, but like that, there's a, I think that is a meta gem as well, but it gives you like 50% more lightning damage. It wasn't worth it. I even tried it instead of Grim Feast and Mana Remnants, and yeah, it does, like the damage is crazy, I ain't gonna lie. And maybe end game I'll be able to get enough mana regen, or a way to get enough mana where I won't need like Mana Remnants, and then we could do it. But as of right now, Grim Feast with Mana Remnants just feels way smoother, way, like I said, my damage is already plenty for where I'm at, more than I need by far. So it just didn't feel as fluid or smooth, I guess. So for now, like I said, Grim Feast, and all I'm doing, again, Grim Feast doesn't really need much cannibalism. I just put it in there because I can. Why not? And then Mana Remnants, I do have Clarity for the mana regen, which I would highly recommend. And I also, for now, again, I'm just trying to put things in places so it just, if there's any kind of value at all. And for now, I'm just using Lightning Mastery in it, because for my Spark, I'm running Tempo, Pierce, Acceleration, which was, I've pretty much stayed with that the whole time. And now I added in Persistence, unlocking the 4th slot. And the reason I do that is because it keeps the sparks going, you know, back and forth and all around longer. And so I have more speed, so it travels faster, and it stays up longer. So overall, it's doing more damage. Every time it goes through with Pierce, every time it comes back and forth, that's damage done, right? And if you look at my sheet, this is what it looks like at the moment. Pretty juicy. Where do I see, is it, oh, I think that, no, that's actually where it is, the sheet. So if you look at the sheet, my attacks, where is it? It's here, right? Attacks per second. Oh yeah, right here. Cast per second, sorry. I'm almost to 4 cast a second, right? And that's obviously through cast speed. I have a ton of cast speed, and I've been focusing on cast speed. And I tried, if you've been in the stream, if you're watching on YouTube, real quick, twitch.tv/Merkadis, come kick it, see what's happening, where the build is going, if this is something that interests you, or if you have any insight yourself, want to share, I'm all ears. But I tried many different things with the with like the passives, and for me, at least for Spark, the cast speed just feels better. It's more enjoyable. It just feels better. Yeah, I'm almost to the 4 casts a second, which is insane, which is wild. But I'm super happy with how things are working out with the build. Like I said, I started this, and it's funny because the whole reason, again, I'm new to PoE. The whole reason I kind of went with what I went with, I just went with Spark right off the rip. It was just something simple, you know, a simple starter, whatever. And then this is the first legendary drop that I got, and I was like, ooh, that thing's kind of nice. And honestly, it's so nice. I basically took it from Act 1 when I found it in the beginning of the game, and I'm still wearing it into the end game, and it just, oh man, it's a beautiful thing. That's how I'm able to get as much shield as I have, though. That in combination with obviously the gear and the passives and blah blah blah. Like, it's a lot to scale it as high as I did, but that's been my focus the entire time. That's where I've been tuning. That's my whole time playing. I've been tuning for as much shield as I can get and as much spark damage as I can get. And so again, I'm all about how can I supplement my spark. I'm not so much worried about using a lot of abilities that all do a bunch of damage, I'm basically trying to make my spark as deadly as it can possibly be, right? So elemental storm, that's part of my ascendancy. That's just passive, extra damage. And in that, I got controlled destruction, considered casting, execute, which I like, and ingenuity. I don't know why every time I go to say that, I have to, like, because I'm looking at it, I know what the word is, but anyways. But yeah, that's what I run in elemental storm. It's just passive through ascendancy, and it just, again, it helps supplement, and the execute honestly helps with just finishing stuff off, or mobs, or like higher end mobs, I guess, bosses, stuff like that. And that's where, again, when I talked about my orb of storms, the reason I'm choosing what I'm choosing there, font of mana buffs myself, but it also debuffs to make my spark more deadly, right? Conductivity, again, makes my spark more deadly. So in conductivity, I got magnified effect, impending doom, hex bloom at the moment. And when I get another greater orb, when I unlock the 4th on that, my plan is more than likely, kind of like I said earlier, see how it has it applies after a 1 second delay. Well, there's a there's a support gem. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a support gem that reduces that effect. So essentially it'll pop faster. And I think honestly, that'll help. It'll make it feel better, at least for my playstyle. Mana Tempest, I got in inspiration to make it cost less mana when you're in it, so you have more uptime with it. Premeditation, again, to empower more damage. And then I'm using energy barrier in it, and the reason for, you know, if I get stunned, usually that's like a oh no moment, but with this, it's like it doesn't matter, essentially, because my energy shield is so high, my resists are so high. If I get stunned, it just it recharges, and yeah, it's GG. I like it. And then Grim Feast, like we already went over, like I said, doesn't really, these are, the clarity is the most important for these two. But in terms of skills and stuff, that's all it is. That's kind of, again, the focus. And again, keep in mind, none of this is scripted. This is all off the top of my head. I'm streaming live on Twitch at the moment, just trying to get my thoughts through and make as much sense as possible for everybody, but also give you guys not just the basics of it, but trying to explain it and my thoughts on it, and what I'm trying to do with it, where I'm trying to go with it, so it can maybe help you understand a little bit better too, and maybe improve on it even more than I am, because there's definitely, again, room to improve always, right? But yeah, in terms of skills, that's what it's looking like. Ascendancy, again, same as before. I have Arcane Surge, and then I get the Elemental Storm. And I did change up here, though. I changed a lot, right? If you saw the last video, I had stuff over here, and granted, I also have 20 levels more. I also got more of the skill point, the passives, like from the quest. So I have a ton more. I have a ton more points than last time, but it's the same, like what I was trying to do, or like at that time I explained, like, again, kind of gave you guys the food for thought, or like my thoughts on it. I ended up doing what wanted to, essentially, right? I kind of started off over here more defensively, starting off just to make the game a little bit easier, which I think is the way to go early game. And into late game, like I said, I kept most of it. I just kind of rerouted it. So you'll see like this, I disconnected here, and instead I connected it here. It gave me a jewel socket, which also I'm planning on getting this too as well. I'm kind of just setting up for that next, but I was able to just kind of, once I went up here, I was able to just take these and basically throw them over here. And then you can see I come up over here, I grab this stuff. Like I said, at the moment I'm giving up the shock chance and duration in favor of other stuff, and that's just because I have like shock chance in like jewels, and I have it elsewhere where I think I have enough of it, and also like in my orb I have 100% shock chance, so I feel like I can sacrifice that for now just to go over and get like some more int and energy shield and stuff like that. And that being said, I think low-key, I was looking over here, look at this, increased projectile speed for spells, dude, that I might have to go get that ASAP, because I even have a support gem in my thing that gives me 40%. Right, so I could get another, oh man, 36 here, which sounds juicy. But like I said, we got so many levels to get yet. That'll be easy. We'll probably pick some of that up. Like I said, I plan on picking some of this up. Maybe I did try adverse growth. it didn't feel that good, honestly. Like I thought it would be, it sounded like, man, 20% damage taken, recouped his mana. I was like, oh yeah, yes, please. I couldn't really notice a difference, honestly. So I kind of dropped it for now. I might go back to it and try give it another chance, but as of right now, it didn't seem like it was worth. But anyways, you can kind of take a look at the tree. No point going through like literally node to node. The main focus, anything energy shield, anything lightning damage, anything spell damage, anything cast speed per se, right? That's kind of the focus. Mana regen, right? Mana regen, lightning damage, elemental damage, energy shield. That's anywhere I can get that along the way. That's what I'm picking up. You can see spell damage, cast speed, energy shield, cast speed, right? Energy shield, elemental, arcane surge, because that's part of my ascendancy, right? So all of my focus is nodes like that and min-maxing the route to get to it. And again, lightning, obviously int, energy shield, and again, like I said, over here maybe picking that stuff up. So again, it's more the focus of what I'm trying to stack, right? Energy shield, lightning damage / elemental damage / spell damage, all that's good. And again, I tried, like I literally have taken away all of my attack speed per se, and it just did not feel good. It felt way worse. Granted, my gear's way better now. I have a lot more cast speed on my gear since I last did that. But when I did take away some cast speed, because I had cast, like before I had like this cast speed, but I have way more cast speed on my gear now that I was able to sacrifice a little bit here, again, just to min max. I'm trying to get to that 4 cast a second, which I'm pretty much there, and that's kind of my goal. And then from there, I feel like that's enough cast speed, because there probably is a point where, you know, I don't know what the breakpoints are per se, but you know, I'm sure there's diminishing returns at some point. But this chaos resist is so hard to get, and like I said, I like cast speed. It was a no-brainer for me to keep that, at least again for me. So yeah, hopefully that helps with passives, and again, hopefully it makes sense again, so you guys can kind of not just take it for you know, for what you see, kind of more help you grow as well, because I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to, again, I'm newer to PoE. I'm trying to understand things, trying to learn things, trying to test things, but that's what I like to do. And so far, those focuses have been what really I've been trying to seek out from the beginning, and still into the end game. It just feels like the right choice. I feel seriously, I feel like, again, I wouldn't say it's a cheat code, but holy crap, dude, I feel so strong. I see like so many people struggling with defense, and it's like, dude, my defenses are literally insane, and I love it. I love it. And my damage it's not like I'm sacrificing really much damage at all. The amount of damage I have, like I said, it's already way more than I need for where I'm at. And the beauty is, like, the further I get into the end game, if I want to shift some of my defense, if I am way too over the top defensively, I can shift some of that into more offensive, right? So I'm just playing it as defensive as possible, just because it just makes it feel as comfy as possible as I progress and learn the game. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I think that's, what else is there? We went passives, ascendancy, skills. We pretty much already did the full breakdown. And again, hopefully I'm not blabbing too much, but I really am trying to help you guys. Like, again, the food for thought things, trying to give you guys an idea of like my setup. Like I said, when I was talking about, you know, approaching an area before you even see the mob, start casting, throw out your orb. And then if you have like an elite pack or something, that's when you cast your Tempest, and everything will die essentially before it even reaches you. Once you have it built right? You do have to get some decent gear. My gear, I've been working very hard at. I found some really good pieces. Some of the gear is the same as last time even, just a little bit better. But my wand, I found that, again, not ideal, but man, it's strong. It's got a lot of max mana spell damage, 3 lightning skills, int, you know, can't go wrong. I do want to upgrade that though. I do, honestly, if I got like a really crazy wand, like with lightning damage on it as well, or something like that, instead of the life gained per enemy kill, because that's kind of a dead stat, that'd be a nice solid increase in damage too. So definitely have a lot of room to improve, but overall, a lot of my gear, I feel like a lot of my gear is like almost perfect, but then it has like 1 dead stat, right? So like that, the life per enemy killed is a dead stat. The dex is honestly kind of a dead stat, and the rest is really good though. The gloves, you know, they're decent. They're actually pretty good for They do what I need them to for now. The belt I could use better of, but it has chaos resist, so it's just so hard to get that, and it has a lot of max mana, so I'm like, you know, that's the best of what I got for now. Boots, movement speed, max life, max mana, double res, the regen per second, again, another dead stat. The ring, you can see the increased cast damage, unfortunately, again, dead stat, but the rest is so good, right? Max life, max mana, cast speed, double resist, mana regen. So like my stuff is like, it's honestly almost perfect, but everything, I feel like every single piece of my gear essentially has a dead stat. Amulet has a lot of strength in it, which a little bit more than I need. I do need a little bit of strength anyways for like my support gem, so it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like completely wasted stats, but it's definitely a little more than I need. But the rest, I got max energy shield, ton of max mana, cold resist, right? It just all helps. Same thing with the helmet. Again, you got to see the theme, right? Again, same focus as in my passives. I'm focusing on energy shield, mana, life, and resist, right? Those are the, I'm trying to get at least 2 resists on every piece of gear, ideally mana or max life at least, if not both, and then something in energy shield. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do, and it feels really good. Like I said, I found this, I think yesterday it was, and it's just absolutely juicy, and loving it, man, loving it. I found both of these are really good. Again, wand, that's honestly, I think this is my next upgrade. I'm gonna try to trade for a better one probably, just because I do think I can get a lot, like this is, don't get me wrong, this is a really good wand, but I do think I can get a lot more damage from it, right, by getting rid of that life per enemy kill, because that's just literally a wasted stat. And then for the charm, I'm actually running cannot be or immunity to freeze, because I feel like I have that support gem for the stun, but I don't know if freeze counts as a stun. I think they're different, right? So, and I just noticed, like, if I get froze, if I die, or I guess I don't really die much anymore, but when I was dying, it was when I was getting froze. But I have so much defense now, so much resist, and since I've been using this, I haven't really ran into many issues. I might try putting the rarity thing back on, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get humbled real quick. I feel like every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm strong enough now, the game's like, no, you ain't. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully, again, gear wise, I hope that helps kind of give you an idea of what to look for in your gear if you want to try it out. Passives, skills. Again, I'm still building it, still testing things daily. If you want to come and be a part of that, twitch.tv/Merkadis, and come kick it. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll try to get a planner in the comments on it. Usually if I make any guides for any kind of builds, especially a build that I feel like this is endgame build, this is something I think a lot of people could benefit from if they want to, if this is something they want to play. So yeah, in the comments, I'll try to have it pinned, and good luck with it. Hopefully it helps, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Much love, y'all.